Well, hello. This is Rochelle, and thanks for joining me here at the La Rochelle Crafts August Bible Journaling. Our printable this month has been designed by Charlene Warwick from Artspirations, and I do want to encourage you to go check her out and check out her Etsy store. She's got so many beautiful printables, and I would love for you to support her. She is really very talented and very giving. She loves doing freebies as well. So check out the Facebook page Soul Sisters as well, and you can get some freebies over there. So for today's page, the first one I'm doing in Proverbs 4 verse 23, we are talking about the wisdom of guarding our hearts, or our hearts then as a whole. And I love how this ties in with what we did before, in that what our words are comes from a place of where our hearts are. So the Bible speaks and it says, keep your heart with all diligence. In other words, guard your heart. For out of it springs the issues of life. We will be doing the Zoom lesson, and you'll get the devotional part of that. But for here, we're going to be doing the art. I just took these flowers and kind of traced them. I love the loose kind of doodly flowers effect there. And I want to have both this hedgehog and the girl guarding or holding on to their hearts. I want to have that visible, but I want to play with a bit of watercolor and ink, so drawing and ink, drawing and watercolor. So that's why I took my Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen in an XS nib, an extra super fine nib, and I'm drawing these little flowers kind of freehand, or trying to on this side. I traced them on the margin side. Now what you need here is a pigment ink, so something that's permanent, an archival ink. And with the Pit Artist pens, they are India ink, so they're not going anywhere once they're dry. I also do find that they do not bleed in most Bibles. This specific Bible that I'm working in is even more thin than other Bibles I've worked in, so it does shadow, but it doesn't bleed. Okay, and then I'm working with my Faber-Castell watercolor pans. You don't have to work with the watercolor pans. You can work with the watercolor tubes or any old watercolor that you have. The likelihood of watercolor bleeding through also is very scarce. It will happen with random colors like a lavender, that kind of lilac color, or yellow, I found has been prone to bleed, and even then it's not very bad bleed, it's just kind of slight. So then taking what's left over of my paint and kind of just doing some splatters in Payne's Gray. I love Payne's Gray in acrylic and watercolor and every other place. So I'm going to be doing some stamping with some foam alphas that I picked up at Crazy Store many moons ago, and I'm going to just do some stamping with foam stamps into acrylic black paint, and then using that for my title, which my title on all my pages for this thing is going to be Guard Your Heart, because it's really an instruction. It's an instruction to keep your heart with all diligence. It means every effort put into guarding your heart, every effort. So yes, putting some black acrylic paint, I'm using the Deco Art Americana, onto a little plastic packaging, the packaging for the stencil, and then just putting my alphas into that and stamping out Guard Your Heart. I am breaking it up so that it does have more of a kind of messy mixed media feel. The stamping with any foam is imperfect. It's not ever kind of crisp, solid lines and clear. It has that imperfection, which is what I'm after here. Because even when I do give all my diligence to guarding my heart, it is very often imperfect nonetheless. So I did trace that kind of label, stitched label thing at the bottom there, and also watercolored that. I just wanted kind of a foundation or some place that they would be grounded on, this little girl and the hedgehog. And so just taking some alpha letters there to complete my guard your heart, and then sticking them down using some Tombow glue. And remember that which you want in the forefront, you would need to stick down last. So beware of what you start sticking and where you start sticking. So I do want this little hedgehog in front of her legs and not behind her legs. So I would stick him down last. I did kind of, with my brother Scan and Cut, not quite get the lines of this little ribbon in. So I'm just redoing the ribbon in her hair. And then doing this super cute little heart tab for the top of my page. And then date stamp, I think, is the next step. Yes, date stamp. So I want to encourage you to guard your heart. The layouts for today is super simple. I do want you to kind of practice with watercolor and the difference of how it feels on Bible paper versus watercolor paper. If you want to treat yourself, buy some watercolor paper and play around on that, see how the colors bleed, and yes, there's that. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.